I'm Jane Bakewell, and I've been using the Tea Tree Gully Library ever since we moved to Adelaide to live, which was just under 40 years ago.
Well, I'm Ray Bakewell. Surprisingly enough, I'm Jane's husband, and we met 61 years ago in a library. So library has definitely, a library has definitely been very full of influence in our lives.
The library's been part of my life ever since I began to read, when going to the library was a treat every week, to go to the library and be allowed to take books home and to read them and then devour a few more each week. So it would have been about 13 years ago. I think hearing about them through asking at the library what activities were going in the area, I joined one of the book groups that the library supports, which meets in the library, and I joined another one through the Tea Tree Gully U3A organisation, University of the Third Age. There becomes quite a bond in the group through the fact that by discussing a book, some books bring out memories or lines of stories or points of discussion. That means people that are talking about those, and over a period of time this forms a bond within the group of these shared discussions. So it becomes quite a friendship group. It's something I think many members of the group do value, their regular meetings with each other and the books that they are sharing together. So I think as a social thing, it has quite an important role.
The worst thing that can happen is when everybody agrees this is a good book, and then that's finished.
Oh, that's a short discussion.
If there's different views, it's better.
It's better if there are some differences of opinion. You get a much more interesting, livelier discussion then. Often there are a certain number of books that have caused a real split in the group. You almost get a 50-50 pros and cons for that book, which makes that very interesting.
Never come to blows, I think, has it done?
No.
The effect of libraries, is, when I was thinking about it, has been really tremendous in terms of our lives. For my sake, my mother used to take me to the little local library in England when I was about 8 or 9 years old. And I used to like reading these adventure stories like Rider Haggard and John Buck and people like that. And that instilled in me a desire to go and see the world and travel. And then when I'd already been working in Africa in the book trade actually for some years. When on leave I first met Jane and realised that we both had an interest in books and in seeing the world and in classical music, which was a particular interest. And as a result of that, when we were able to do so financially, we took off, and that's why we're here in Adelaide and not stuck in southern England somewhere. And it's been great. But all this was initially inspired by reading from the library. And you know the little library that I was referring to in England as well. But certainly it's been the role of libraries has seemed to get more and more as time's gone on. And but for us, libraries, and as you know, our daughter is a writer, so books and what they can do and what they can teach you and what they can inspire you to do have been very important. So libraries with a great big L, I think, are very important in our lives. And the one you've got here is excellent. It's just does a very good job and keeps you going actually, because you think, oh yeah, you've got, how many books do you read a year on average, Joe?
At least 150, something like that, round about that.
Yes. I'm a slow reader.
It varies a bit.
So nothing like as much as that. But even so, reading books is always and continues to be, and we're well aware of all that we haven't read yet. We should say we've got to keep on living long enough to do all that.